Welcome to the podcast about being unmessable with, no matter what life throws at you. Here is your host, Josselyne Herman-Saccio.
Hey there. Welcome to Be Unmessable with the podcast. Today's tip of the week is about nothing. That's right. You heard me, nothing. Many times I tell people you need nothing. And they think what I'm saying is you don't need anything. And that is not what I'm saying. When I say you need nothing, I mean literally nothing. You need a blank canvas. You can't create on a canvas that already has a painting on it. So you need a space of nothing to actually create inside of or on top of, depending on how you view it. So the question becomes, well, how do I create nothing? Because there's always something there. If you're a human being, you're always dealing with something. Have you noticed? You're always dealing with something in your business. You're always dealing with something in your family. You're always dealing with something with your well-being. You're always dealing with something in your relationships. So how do you create nothing? Because without nothing, you have no access to real creation. All you have access to is fixing or changing or adapting whatever the something is that you're working on. So we want to look at a process that I've created to create nothing. So the first thing you need to do in this process is just think about an area of your life, and it might be a relationship, or it could be your family, or it could be your well-being. You pick an area or a relationship that you want to create something new in, and just kind of look at your relationship to that person or that area. And then what you would want to do is take out a notebook or something to write on, or even record into your phone if you need to, but write down everything you know about that area or about that person that you're focusing on. So, if it's yourself, and you want to create something new in the area of your well-being, you might write down things like, well, I'm not a morning person, or I'm not naturally athletic, or I hate yoga. I'm just saying you could write that down. That happens to be maybe what I wrote down when I did this process. I really wanted to create something new in my well-being, but I had this thing about yoga. It was like a four-letter word to me. It represented danger. I know that sounds insane, but a few years ago, I hurt my back. I slipped a disc doing yoga. So that was it. I was like, I'm never doing yoga again. Da da da. Da. So fast forward, I do yoga every week now, and I love it. So this process really supported me in that. So you reflect on the person or the area. Maybe it's your business, and this is the max that I can make in my business, or this is what my industry is like. So you're going to write down everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, the challenges, the triumphs. And it could, be about your marriage. It could be about your relationship with your children, any facet of your life where you want to create something new in. So the first thing is to reflect on that person or area and write down everything there is to say. That is the first step. Then the second step is about uncovering your limiting beliefs in that area. So what you're going to make a list of is all the reasons that you believe you don't have what you want in that specific relationship or in that specific area. These might be lingering doubts about yourself or about the situation or another person. It could be a self imposed limitation or past experiences like my yoga experience that are holding you back. So you want to write down all the reasons that you believe are the obstacle or the impediment for you having what you really want. Let's say it's in your relationship with your mother in law. You could write down a belief, well, she's not a really good communicator, or whatever it is that you think is the block, is the thing that messes with you or stops you from fulfilling on what you really want. So that's step 2. Step 3 is you have a little talk with yourself in the mirror. Okay. So you're going to read your list of reasons out loud to yourself in front of a mirror, and you're going to repeat it 3 times. This step actually has you hearing what you're saying, not as the truth, but as beliefs that are limiting or thoughts that are hindering your progress rather than the truth, which is kind of the point. If you can separate it from being true to being a belief, you create a little bit of space in that area For example, in my life, I used to have a belief that you can't do your art as your career, and that stopped me from taking actions on my dream to be a singer. And the moment I saw that as a belief and not the truth, everything opened up. New actions were there for me to take, and my vision was realized within 3 weeks. I had a record deal. So this does work if you do this. Okay. So step 4 is to take the paper that you've written everything about that person or that area, everything about the reasons why you don't have what you want with that person or that area. Take that paper and tear it up. That's right. Tear the whole thing up. I know it's so symbolic, right? But it represents shedding all those old beliefs and making room for fresh, new possibilities. So you're going to look at the situation newly and ask, okay, what do I want to create in this area or with this person or even with myself? And identify the actions that are needed to bring your vision to life, and then schedule those actions in your calendar, because if you don't put it in your calendar, it is not going to happen, unlikely to impossible that it's going to happen. So create your vision, create your actions, and then schedule those actions in your calendar. And that is no different from the work that I do with all my coaching clients. I encourage them to take all their visions and actions and put them in their calendar, because for me, if I didn't have my calendar, all I got is my memory. And your memory is not a good place to keep stuff, because all that stuff in your brain and in your mind, if you could find your mind, but what you consider your mind is the same place where your reasons and your justifications and your fears and your considerations live. So you don't want to keep stuff there. You want to keep it out here in reality in your calendar. Okay. And if you actually want to learn more about the work that I do with my clients in creating their calendar and actually designing their days, I'll put a link in the show notes for my calendar workshop that is like $19 on my website. So it's a very easy way to completely transform your relationship to your calendar if you have a less than an empowering relationship to your calendar. Okay, let me know what you discover by doing this 4-part process. See you on the other side in the next episode of Be Unmessable With, the podcast.